ballads.
In the spring of 1987, the kids reached their low point at the Franklin Park Kite Festival in Boston.
We go on, a pebble flies by. Okay, we're still singing. Then a bigger pebble. Then a rock. Then another rock. Then 3 rocks. Then records started flying at us. These were like lethal objects. One of them hit Danny and sliced his neck, scathed his neck. So we just ran off the stage. In this industry, there's a lot of rejection. And you just have to keep going and going and going, and eventually a door will open for you.
The new kids' tenacity paid off. By the end of summer, their fan base started to expand.
If you watched the progress and looked at the timeline over a year, you'd see it grow from 10 people to 15 to 50 to 100 to 200 to standing room only.
With the tide turning, the group's management approached Columbia execs with a simple plea.
We went back, said, look, we want to do another album.
I was even more determined, you know, that we would have success with them because I felt that they were talented kids, you know, and they deserved a second chance.
We saw a hole in the marketplace. You got to remember that in pop culture, the kids run it. The teens rule the world. And at that time, there was no one musically that they were identifying with.
By the fall of '88, the new kids ranged in age from 15 to 19. They headed back to the studio to work on their second, more mature album.
The first album that we did was just really cheesy and really young, and, you know, it definitely wasn't what we were. So doing the whole second album, the record company pretty much let us have a little more control over how we wanted to be, how we wanted to dress.
They weren't going to be wearing those Cosby sweaters and types of outfits and the neon colors. It was more about the kids changing and really being true to where they're from.
We grew up in the city, and that's how we dressed. We wore leather jackets, and we wore Adidas and all that.
It was definitely a step up. It was a little bit more street. We went a little bit more kind of what we normally wear, as opposed to the Temptations outfits that we used to wear.
The new kids' sound received an overhaul as well, with a little help from Donnie, Jordan, and Danny, who received associate producer credits on the record.
We wanted definitely more input on how we wanted to sound, and Maurice was really good with that.
They seemed to be kids who were very, very comfortable going back and forth between the pop world and hip-hop world that was emerging then. They were pretty fly for a bunch of white guys.
The new kids' second album, Hangin' Tough, hit record stores in March 1988. Record executives chose Please Don't Go Girl as the first single for radio play.
It was a ballad, and the radio community embraces ballads very slowly.
Too slow for the brass at Columbia.
One day our record company said, we're dropping you from the label. And then one pop station in Florida picked it up and started playing it and playing it and playing it, and they got like so many calls about it. And all of a sudden the record company's like, oh, wait a minute, you know, what do we got over here?
So there was a little steam going, and, you know, whatever it took to keep it going, you know, we jumped on it, and then we got that gig on the Apollo. So that was like our first big national TV appearance.
In June 1988, the new kids took the stage at the world-famous Apollo Theater in Harlem.
That was another really scary moment for all of us.
It's a very critical audience. They sweep you right off the stage.
We were doing our thing, and the crowd started going, go white boys, go white boys, go white boy, go white boy. And it was just like, it just felt so good.
We worked so hard for that performance, and we just wanted to be really tight. We were all on the same page, and it was a beautiful experience. And then we come off stage, and we're in our dressing room, like, I was emotional. I remember Donnie and Jordan like breaking down and crying because they were just like so happy.
After surviving the Apollo, Starr decided the group was ready to be an opening act on a national tour. First, they had to align themselves with the right artist, keyboardist Kevin Antunes.
Tiffany was the pop queen. She was doing malls across America. She was writing some of her stuff. She was selling millions of albums.
We just thought it would be a great idea because we had this built-in teen audience of these girls following Tiffany.
Aid arranged for the New Kids to audition for Tiffany.
They came backstage, and it was, I believe it was my girlfriend and I backstage, and they came in and performed with like a little ghetto blaster. And
poor Tiffany, she's trying to eat before the show, and she's so sweet anyways, and she's like trying to be nice while we're standing like right in front of her.
Maurice has the box, he's playing the tape, we're performing and she's eating steak.
And we were kind of smitten on them, so, you know, we were like, they're cute.
Tiffany liked them and said, sure, let's let them open up for us.
We were psyched. Not only were we like teenagers and going to get on a tour bus and like travel the world, I mean, what's better than that? But we got to perform for, you know, 5,000 to 15,000 girls a night. It was like killer.
Here they were with their dance moves and singing, and they knew how to work it too. They had charisma. These girls would just go, ah!
One New Kid in particular made 16-year-old Tiffany weak in the knees.
Jonathan, we had so much in common. It wasn't because we were musicians and we were out on the road and that kind of, you know, similarities. But he liked fish. I liked fish. He likes plants. I like plants.
After the shows, I would hang out with her, and we just got very close, and I just fell in love with her, and it was great for me, you know, being on the road and having her with me. You know, I got to share a lot of my feelings of what was happening in my life at that time and how to deal with it.
The New Kids tour with Tiffany was a huge success. By August 1988, Please Don't Go Girl climbed to number 10 on the pop charts. The mainstream music press largely ignored New Kids on the Block. Still, word on the street spread. These boys had something.
The buzz doesn't really